Good morning, everybody. How are you? Did everybody survive Saturday night? If you were here yesterday, we talked a lot about the craziness out there last night, and just kind of what was happening out there, and uh, kind of warned everybody that it could be a crazy, crazy Friday night or Saturday night. So kind of warned everybody. Sorry, I'm having a little issue getting my screen here. Bear with me for just a moment. Screen does not want to flip. Go figure. Let's see. Woohoo. Sorry to make y'all dizzy, but well, that's the way it's gonna be. So there we go. There we go. So last night we talked. We did some card pulls. We had some Conjure talk last night. We had a really good evening last night. Had quite a few people on. Um, as I had told many people, I have been doing readings for over 30 years. Professionally. I have a client base here in the US and also overseas. I lived a long time around an Air Force base, so I picked up a lot of international people. But I've done it for 30 years. And, COVID brought a lot of changes. I love doing in person and house party readings, and that wasn't possible. So I started Zooming. Well, I've had friends that have said, why are you not on TikTok? Why are you not on YouTube? And I just wasn't inclined to it. But last night was the first night. We had a blast last night. I was on for just about 2 hours and was on a couple platforms, and we really had a good time. So if you have a question, drop it in the comments. I would appreciate it if you would like our page and follow us. And drop a question. I'll be here to answer some questions. I'll be here to pull a card for you. I'd love to help everybody as much as I can. There is, if you want a full reading, in my bio, there's a link tree there. If you go in that link tree, there is links. It'll take you actually to our webpage, our Etsy page, and you can book readings on that. It says virtual, and we can set up a time to actually Zoom if you'd like, and have some time together and do a good in-depth reading for you. It's really a fun practice, and if you're just newer getting into metaphysics and the occult, I have studied just about every path around. I really enjoy certain paths more than others. I find some closed religions and paths very interesting to me, although I don't really believe that I should be working with their deities and so forth. But I follow it. I have good friends in some of the faiths, and it's really good. I find hoodoo very fascinating. Um, my partner is from Appalachia, up in West Virginia, Southeast Ohio, and I find folk magic that they practice up there very interesting as well. It's funny how they all sort of intersect to each other, and they each do something a little bit different. Um, but at the end of the day, most of everything is just about the same. It's very interesting how that happens. I kind of it's just interesting how the different faiths work. Hey, thank you for that follow. I really appreciate that. Like I say, drop a question. Please, if by all means, please share this feed. Well, let's get it out there. I really high goal of during the month of June. I want to get up to 5,000 followers, and come on and help people. Give little mini readings. Do a 3 card pull for you. Uh, Anything to help. Like I say, this is I have a long-standing career other than this, and this is my true joy. I absolutely love the occult and readings, be it with my cards, be it intuitive, be it mediumship. I have a blast. And if anybody's interested, I really want to have a really good virtual seance one night. And it would take planning. Some of us would all have to come together. Um, and, we could really. We could have a good time, and I think some people could learn some things, and I think we would have a good time. If you'd be interested in that, kind of drop me a note, and we'll kind of set up a date and time for that. um, and naturally there will be some, hey Teresa, thank you, be some small qualifications for it. um, we can talk about that. That's kind of fun, but I just think it would be a really good time. um, if you've ever been in a mediumship session or a seance with me, it's always very enlightening. Not necessarily do I always remember a lot of it, because I do the trance work. So I sometimes don't remember a lot of it until I actually see a video or something, because I do like to record them. Coffee. It's Sunday morning. Well, Sunday afternoon now, and I'm on my third cup. So I'm working on a pot. I swear I'm going to finish the pot. Um, I might be a little jittery. Hey Tracy, if you have a question, drop it down. And love, relationship, I'll pull a card for you. Let's see what we have going on out there. Um, I just love. I have like two decks of cards out. This deck I've had just for ages. The other deck's really the deck I travel with, but I collect tarot decks. So good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Where is everybody from? Sharon, Annabelle. Where's everybody from? Okay, this is coming off. I probably shouldn't say I'm on two platforms at once. Um, Probably shouldn't do that, but I am. This is coming from another platform. Sarah is asking, um, will she be in a relationship by the end of the year? I don't know. Let's kind of see, Sarah. Okay, so Teresa, hold on. I want to go over to TikTok. You've been around. I've answered your question or two before. So let's hit Teresa. When will this downward spiral that envelopes all areas of my life and being stopped? It's been 4 years. I don't know, Teresa. When is this downward spiral going to stop for Teresa? Actually, I'm going to use this other deck. It's been 4 years since your partner passed away. I'm so sorry. That's got to be really rough. I couldn't imagine. Tell me about Teresa's situation. About Teresa's situation. Yeah, Teresa, I can see it's really been bad. Just curious. Um, are you or your partner an air sign, perhaps Gemini? Just curious. Um, Job car relationships can't catch a break. Well, and here's what the cards tell you, Teresa, is just have patience right now. You really are going through that process, and it's made you very, very timid, and you're seeking for a Gemini, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, that makes sense, because the card that was pulled was the Nine of Swords in reverse. Um, you know, be patient, but it says you're like seeking something that's just not ready to be found yet. And it does say you have to have a period of seclusion. y- you almost feel bored and soulless at the point, but you're going to start finding the joy again, most likely within the next 4 to 6 months. That's when things will really start you'll notice some changes going. But just make sure, Teresa, that you're not seeking answers, and you're getting what you want to hear, not what is actually happening. Because sometimes we want to hear things that are we want to happen, but that's not really what spirit tells us is happening. So with that, just remember, be pull yourself together. You will definitely within 5 months, you're gonna start feeling some desire again. Um, and that's a human need. So I would say it's time to start putting yourself out there. Not saying you have to start dating again, but at least start putting yourself out there, because the cards say, it's time. You've been secluded enough. When did your partner pass away again? August of 2020. Okay, 4 years, Teresa. How long were you together? Hey, Mia. 16 years. Yeah, that's a long time. Um, Spirit's just telling me um you have really secluded yourself. You've alienated yourself from a lot of friends. A lot of friends wanted to reach out and help, but you just kind of pushed it away because you needed time alone, and that's understandable. But it's time for you to start putting yourself back out there, not only for a relationship, but for friendships, meaningful friendships. And that is where I think you should probably best start, is find some good friends. Um, if you, something tells me that you have the ability to go to a support group around you, but you've never went, about it. It's time to go. It's really good sometimes to be around people that have the same issues going on, have the same feelings. Excuse me. Because sometimes you're actually going to normalize what you're feeling. Sometimes you realize it's just normal. Um, and sometimes when you hear other people, you know, going through the exact same thing that you are, it helps, and it helps build inside. Yes, definitely some good new friends. That's very, very important. Very important. I don't know, Teresa, if I don't know what faith and things you are, but you're welcome to go to our website. It's in the link tree under there. Um, and in that link tree, there's a link to our website, and which takes you to our Etsy site. If you look, kind of search negativity, there's a black candle called Negativity Be Gone, or a blue one called Road Opener. Either one of those would be really good to like blow through this situation. And they come in two sizes. There's small individual 6-inch tapers. They're for individual use. They're there. Hmm. I don't think I have any. No, I was looking to see if I had any to ship out today. Because sometimes my partner brings them in and puts them on my shelf, so I have them ready things ready to ship out and bless or what have you. But I don't have one. I don't see it. But there's two types. You're welcome. I think that might help you. I believe in all types of magic, and that's a really good one. Uh, I'm sorry if I yawn. I did not get to bed till really late last night, and I guess after turning 50, my clock ticks that like 4 in the morning, I'm awake. Tracy, you're very welcome. I appreciate you coming in. Please share the feed with your friends. Share it on your page. Love to have more people. Love to have people come in, see and talk. We all have things that we like and feel. So it's okay to have those feelings. Do you have another question, Teresa? I'll answer it for you. Looking, supposed to have somebody pop up in another platform for reading, so I'm just kind of looking. Hello, Paul. So it would be better if I probably came a little closer to see some things, because I don't see very well. If you were tuned in last night, we knew today we did a reading for today and next week. Today. Focus on education. If you've got books you've been meaning to read, like us, we're reading. I love the occult metaphysics, so we have books going on all the time. Books with tabs and marks and highlights in them. We don't get rid of them. If I ever need to go back and look at something, I know, believe it or not. But I have a lot of books that we just, we get into and we like to read, and certain things like that. Hey, King James. Hey, Teresa, you still there? Not sure if you are still here. Candles. That one, actually, the black one that you may see back there, that is actually negativity on candle. Actually, we actually do rituals for people. We do candles. There's always candles on here. We're going. So let's start winding that down a little bit, because some of the workings and things take multiple weeks to do. We just got done a large ritual for a gentleman who was having some legal issues, and he was possibly facing jail time. And I really believe that he was not guilty of what they said he did. And I went to bat. We went to bat for him, and we did a very powerful working for him. It got down. I know who knew who was going to testify. We went through each person, and not harm or hateful, but just kind of like bite your tongue and things like that. But he did not end up in jail. The case was dropped. He walked out, and unfortunately, a lot of legal fees in it. But he walked out of, and was. Any questions? I'm just. So just like to. Check. See what's happening. Do some shuffling. Ooh. Somebody's got some somebody must be going through recovery, or a period of recovery after a large financial loss. just know that you're in recovery mode. Assistance with it, so you're not alone. Yeah. Oh no, I I see you over here, Teresa. Different Teresa now. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go get a little more coffee. I'll be right back. I would give you some great hold music, but I don't have it. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. I'm really trying to wait. I'm really trying to wake up. Hey Aries, Jasmine, how are you? Uh, who else is on? Let's see. I'm probably bad. I'm on two platforms at once. Um, I know I'm probably not supposed to do that. I'll go to tick jail or something. Um, let's live on the edge a little bit, right? Mm, yeah, got it. Um, yeah, actually, I do. I actually enjoy doing house clearings. Um, I'm selective about the ones that I do. I tend to like the harder cases. Um, and no, it's just not a come in, I sage the house type thing. That's just not it. Um, energy builds up from people living in houses for so many years, and things happen, and that energy is contained in those walls. Sometimes even in the land, it gets absorbed. So I like the really crazy ones personally. That's just me. I like a challenge. Uh, I prefer it. And they're kind of, it's kind of interesting to have that and do those. People have some bad situations in houses, and unfortunately, people will experiment with the occult and not know what they're doing, and they will open themselves, their family, their home up to some really not so good energies and things that are out there. Um, wow, I've seen it. I have really seen some crazy stuff. I will tell you that over the years. Um, do I believe in possessions? Yeah, to a point I do. Um, uh, sometimes people, like I said, they open themselves up to things. I know it's not like in the movies where you're going to see somebody's head spin and pea soup come flying out of it. It's not The Exorcist. Um, have I seen real possessions? Yes, I have. Um, Unfortunately, I wouldn't tackle that. I personally, I believe in many, many things. Believe in many, many religions and spiritual paths, and I honestly think that is something that is best left to an actual ordained Catholic priest. They have more experience in it. Um, it's there's just something about the way they handle it and their knowledge of it is sometimes a little bit better. So no, I don't like to work with those. Now I love going into I'm clearing houses. If somebody buys a new house and they move in and shit starts to happen, um, and it's not good stuff, I like a good challenge to go in and get that out. Um, it's not a, oh, you're banished and you're leaving, but I like to find out what spirit's there, find out what spirit is needing. Sometimes people, spirits just get trapped. The energy just gets trapped in a house, and sometimes the energy just needs to move out. And sometimes it just is a constant vortex in there, and that vortex goes nowhere. And it's just a constant spinning, so it just keeps replaying. Just think of a record that really just keeps replaying itself over and over and over again. And that's what happens. A lot of times in some of these houses, you will see the paranormal things happen in sequences. And it's almost like a chain reaction. That chain reaction happens. Sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's once a month, once a year. Um, Sometimes it's a holiday that will trigger it. So you have to kind of analyze it. You have to find out what's happened, what's going on, and kind of work it from that direction. A lot of times, people just they're so oblivious to things, and then all of a sudden something happens, and they become very what's that word? They see the light and they see something's going on. I can tell you, when I grew up, my stepfather was just he did not believe in the occult. He did not believe in anything metaphysical. Um, he just didn't believe in it. And I am multi generational as far as intuitive and generational as far as spiritual and root working and conjure and things like that. But it kept very wrapped up. It wasn't very public. Not a lot of people really knew about it. And we had my sister got a Ouija board for Christmas, and that Ouija board. Um, we just decided like nobody played with it. She tried, using apparently on her own. Nothing really happened. Nothing really worked, which was fine. And then one day, she had a group of girlfriends over, and of course, I was that young brother that all I wanted to do was hang out with her and her friends. Yeah, the gay brother wanted to hang out with his sister and his friends, right? So we all were hanging out in her room. Now, keep in mind, we lived in a house that was probably built in 1880s, probably, in a small town. It was a big old Victorian house. So if you know anything about the closets were but very deep, and there were shelves, and these shelves were all the way back. So anything in the back, I mean, some of these shelves in the top were 24 inches deep. So it was a lot of storage back up there. So anyway, we're working with the Ouija board. We're all sitting there. We're all going through. We're like reading the little book, and we're kids. My sister, I don't even think was. I was probably 6, so she was 12. Well, we're probably a little older than that. I don't know. Anyway, age is relevant. So anyway, we're all sitting around. We're all in the bed. We all have a hand on this Ouija board, and we were asking who was there, and nothing was happening. And all we just said, look, somebody come here and tell us you're here. And I swear we heard the longest moment of silence, and then the closet door flew open, and everything on that top shelf, that was 24-inch wide shelf, flew out. Yeah. Well, you want to talk about, I think there was like 8 of us. You want to talk about some kids that had the shit scared out of them. So my stepfather, we were really upset with it. We were, we went and told our mom, and she was like, "Oh my God, I got to call the church and have them bless the house." And we were were Methodists, and we had to have Pastor Reverend Sterling come up and take care of this and see what Reverend Sterling said about it. Well, this guy didn't know anything about that. So we had my stepfather at the time was like, I'm going to end this. I am getting rid of that board. It is not coming back in the house at all. Nobody's allowed to have it or play with it. So he took it out in the garage, which is his workshop, and sat there until he could figure out what to do with it. Because he had asked some people, I guess he had a little reservation maybe about it, because he asked some people, like, what do I do to get rid of it? And, people are like, you need to burn it. You need to do this. You need to do that. Well, he was a country guy. So he took the Ouija board and threw it in a trash can. Took the trash can and put it right out at the curb, ready for the trash truck to come in the morning. Great. He's like, finally, it's done. Ouija board is gone. It's out. He goes back in his shop in a day or two, in his workshop. Guess what is sitting back on the shelf right where it was? The Ouija board. Did not want to leave. Did not want to leave. But I attribute that to his doubt in it. And the doubt that was formed. And to be quite honest, as at the age that we were, we had no idea what we're doing. We have no idea what it was. Now going back, if I sit and really seriously look at it, kind of know what it was. But at the same token, those are really good tools for an occult practitioner, but they're not good for kids. I had a good friend that she thought she was doing good. Her daughter was having a sleepover, and it was around Halloween time. So she bought a Ouija board for her. She said, oh, this is something the girls can do and have fun with. And she posted it on Facebook, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, what's wrong? And I'm like, you can't know. Do not let her work. No, absolutely not. And I got really, really upset because I adore her daughter. Like we met them at Disney, and by total accident, one New Year's Eve. And like we love it. We all get along great. We love them. But I like the fact, like, you have to take that back. Do not open the box. Just return it. Do not let them play with that. And I'm very, very insistent upon it, because I know what can happen. They're great tools for an experienced practitioner. If you don't have experience in it, don't use it. I particularly don't mind message boards or spirit boards, whatever you'd like to call them. I do not like the Ouija brand. I said it. I actually grew up not far from where the inventor of the Ouija board lived and started to manufacture them in Maryland. And then he took the manufacturing to Baltimore. Then eventually got sold out to like Parker Brothers or Milton Bradley or one of those people. But if you ever had questions like where to get a spirit board, I don't have an information here, but I do have some guys that do make them. They're beautiful. They are not crazy expensive. And I know the intentions behind making them. I know they're made with good intentions. I know they're not deceitful intentions, and much appeal to them. Really being crazy about it. We quite honestly, we don't use one. If we use a message board, because most of the time I can channel it, so we don't really use it. But occasionally, if we have a friend and they're a little doubtful, we have it. It's called a psychic circle board. I've had it for years and years and years and years. Anyway, that's what we'll tend to use, and we don't do it very often. We just don't. So if you would have a question, you want me to pull a card for you about a personal issue going on, I do not do pregnancy questions. Put it in the chat. I'm on a couple platforms. If I catch it, I will pull a card for you. You're always welcome to go to our website. The link's in the bio. And it's our Etsy store. We make all kinds of fun things. My partner makes handcrafted voodoo dolls for the beginner all the way up to the advanced practitioner. Yeah, here's one. This one's actually, the only reason it's sitting here is she's going out. This one is a money doll. It will not be blessed or dressed. This is going out to a newer practitioner that's going to be doing that herself. Um, it is made out of recycled materials, all recycled fabrics, all organic and natural. He only uses cotton fabrics, which make them a little more powerful. And the sticks in these are actually from our live oak trees here on our property. And if any of them have stuffing in them, typically it is sphagnum moss from those trees. We get the moss out, um, and he uses them to stuff these. Now, this one is probably about a $40 doll on the Etsy site. Um, very, very powerful, but yet its only intention is for wealth and money. That's all that's said on it. So what she's going to have to do is she's going to have to set the intentions on the doll. She's going to have to anoint it, bless it, dress it, maybe breathe a little life into it, whatever her beliefs are. But she's a newer practitioner, and I thought this was a really good doll for her to get started with. Semi pin friendly. If you work with pins, look, not every voodoo doll has to be worked with pins. It's a huge, huge, huge misconception. You do not have to use pins to make them work. Um, some of the most powerful love dolls are actually made out of clay, and you cannot pierce them with a pin. And they are some of the most powerful, powerful voodoo dolls. This is another one that's going out to a client, and the only reason they're sitting here is that they're going to get shipped out. She's got these are actually pistachio nuts, because she's trying to bring a little more love into her life, and pistachio nuts are known to be an aphrodisiac. And she's also trying to bring love and balance. So this material, it's hard to see. It's got a yellowish cast, and there's some yellow paint on the branches. She's looking for love and harmony and balance in her life, and she feels that love is what's going to balance her out. So this was a very good choice for her. You can see the little face up there. Sometimes they look scarier than really what they are, but he makes dolls for almost every intention. Um, we will do some workings for people. We don't believe in uh, hexing or death spells for people. Know how to do them, can do them. I don't believe them in doing them for other people. I can tell you how to do it. I can tell you what to do, but it's just not our wheelhouse to do that. I'm not. We're not going to take on the responsibility and the karma for that. Just don't. You know, it's one of those kind of sayings: "F around and find out." If you're going to mess with one of us, yeah, you're going to get hit pretty hard. Um, and I probably wouldn't believe in hexing someone to death, but I do believe in sending that energy back to you and making you stir and stew in the pot of shit you created. Um, yeah, I really believe in that. I think it's better to kind of watch them wallow and squirm around for a little bit. If they wronged you, I don't have a real issue with that. Oh, hey, Carol. Carol's in my other chat. What's your love outlook like? Let's ask. What's Carol's love life look like? Wow, Carol, you were in a situation that was very, very deceitful. The relationship that you got out of was very, very deceitful. There was a lot more to that relationship that when it ended than you even knew about that was happening. Okay. Um, whoo, yeah, there's way more than what you knew was going on. Which it was meant it was time for it to end. I think you had felt like, you kept feeling the end was near, and it just kind of prolonged itself because everything happens methodically in time, and it's like that synchronicity. It all has to fall into place, and you learned about it at the right time. This person, I believe he had light hair, light eyes, kind of like maybe a grayish blonde hair. You have the will and energy to create. You're a very inspirational person. It says you need to create the life and love that you want. Um, Set your intentions and put them, voice them, and get them out there of what you want. Make sure you're physically telling people, that, putting it out into spirit. Hey, this is what I want. Actually, I want to happen. I want a good love. Now, just remember, Carol, when you put this out there, be very, very specific about your intentions. Hypothetically saying, say, oh, I need a new car, I need a new car, I need a new car, and you get a new car and it breaks down the next day. No, you need a new reliable car with less than so many miles. Like, you need to break it down to exactly what you want. I mean, break it down, because you can just be very basic in your intention out there, and you're going to get a basic intention in return. So the universe kind of has some humor to it. Um, and it's trial by error. And I have especially learned over the years how to be so specific. um so here with me, there is an older lady, gray hair, more salt than pepper, probably passed in the late 80s, early 90s. um she's just saying, "Hey, tell them it's okay. I went peacefully. There wasn't any pain. I'm in a good spot." Um, I almost feel like she's a school teacher. She has that kind of school teacher kind of sweater on and glasses. They're kind of bigger glasses. Um, and she really, she just is telling them, "I'm okay. Don't worry about me. It's a good life on the other side." So I don't know who that's out there for or who she's here for. Um, if you think she's here for you, just let me know and I'll go into a little more detail. um I guess her husband had passed before her, so she was going through a period of time where she felt kind of lost. So but she's okay, she says. What path should I Let me see, super duper, what path should I take to make my year better, and should I forgive? Just curious. I don't know, let's ask super duper. What paths should Super Duper take to make the year better? And should I forgive? Just curious. Well, my opinion on that, but I'll tell you what the cards say. Say what cards and spirits say. I almost tell you before what the cards say. So okay, your year has been full of tension and turbulence. It's the Four of Wands upside down. Um, you have a very anxious feeling inside, and all your decisions are very, very hurried, very quickly made. Slow down. Big, big slow down. Um, don't move so fast. Breathe, okay? It's going to get better. I promise you that. But you, up until now, your life is you've lived it in the fast lane. You have just kept things going. Slow down. Um, it says you have blessings passing you by just because you're so erratic and moving and getting to places, that you let them go right by you. Here's an old saying: you tend to block these blessings, and you don't even realize you're doing it. So slow down. Listen, you two are very, very intuitive. So listen to that gut feeling that you have, that inside feeling that you have, and use it and listen to it more, because you tend not to do that. Um, let me also tell you. So there was a lot of unpredictable disorganization in the relationship and situation that you were in, and that is okay. Um, I would say that the blessings are very blocked. Um, Maybe a new opportunity for work, that's going to come around for you, which could be, very beneficial to you. I did a week reading yesterday or last night for what's going to happen the next week. If you are employed, not self-employed, take note, like really shine your brightest next week, because you're going to see the big bosses are looking, and they're going to be looking to do some extra hiring, staffing, ramping up some things, and you need to be a part of that. Now, if you are self-employed, it was really, really important to put yourself out there. Call those leads you didn't call people back, get back on the phone, put yourself back out there, because next week is a week of yeses. But just be careful. Don't get caught up in saying yes yourself for things you don't want. So that's next week. So let's do a little bit more about your question. Um, you're going to see the most changes that you've seen from the last 5 years in the next 9 months. The next 9 months, you will see things starting to improve and start to go your way. Um, yeah, you can forgive all you want, but you're never gonna forget it. Um, so, yeah, you're welcome to forgive, but you're not gonna forget it. You're still gonna feel like, you're gonna hold a grudge, or, it's still gonna be very awkward. So that's your choice. Do you wanna tell me a little bit, like, what the situation was? And I can go into a little more detail for you. Super. So where somebody owes you money is a good week to collect this week. Um, Very good week. Um, yeah, if you can collect your money, um, super. And you'll see that, last night was probably one of the craziest energies that's been around. Look, we just got done an eclipse and some really crazy full moons. So I feel like last night was just a build up of a lot of energy. We live in the city. All we could hear is cop cars last night, cars flying around, things happening. And, we knew. I was like, "Oh, it really was crazy last night." And other people, I talked to today told me, it was a little crazy last night. And it's the truth. That energy is very, very erratic and out there. Hey, Super, you still here? If not, I'll move on to somebody on my YouTube. Okay, got into a crazy fight with siblings. Okay. Was this about money? Okay, sibling. Okay. Male. Um, it's a greed situation. Um, you have to understand, um, you tend to be a more of a giving person. You tend to go with the flow, and let's kumbaya. He is very greedy. He's very self-centered. You've known that since your kids. He's very greedy. He's very self-centered. um and probably says some very hurtful things because of his greed. So, you can certainly forgive and bury the hatchet, and it's probably good for the family that you do that. But you're never going to. You're always going to hold that grudge, and you know what? I don't care what anybody says. That's freaking human. It's just human. Is it good? Probably not, but it's just human. Um, hey, Super, did one of your parents pass? Is this like trying to settle an estate or something? Because we talked a little bit a minute ago about money is kind of coming up multiple times. I'm just curious. Because there's an older man, not alive, he's in spirit, and this seems to kind of upset him. He seems a little distraught. My biological father did. Okay. He seems a little distraught by all this. Um, he's very distraught. He doesn't understand. He thought everything was spelled out. Everybody knew everybody's wishes and knew what to do. And he's very taken back that this toxicity's built up and is happening. So yeah, he's a little, and especially in spirit, he's just, I can see him. He's pacing. So, it probably is best to address the situation. Um, he says, don't give him what he wants. Just given the message that I hear. He says, don't give him what he wants. Hold firm. Does that make sense? Did he or his father wear some kind of work uniform, like consistently? Wear the same thing to work, like it was like a uniform? Because there's another older man. Um, it's kind of in the background trying to like calm him down. He's older, kind of thicker guy with white hair, and he's trying to calm him down. And he's like, stop. You can't get this angry over it. You can't get this worked up over it. Um, they're adults. They have to figure this out on their own. You can't control the situation because you're not there. So, take that for what it's worth. Does that make sense, Super? Okay, perfect. Um, just just kind of watch you. Just watch every. I won't tell you to watch other people's feelings because your feelings are very valid and you're allowed to have your feelings because it's human nature. Um, I can't or nobody else can judge you whether those feelings are right or wrong, and you feel the way you feel, and you know um, it's human. Um, so Teresa or Super Duper, I hope that helps. Um, Anybody please like our page, follow us. As I said, I have been doing readings for over 30 years. When COVID came out, I loved reading face to face. I love interacting with people. I did take a little break for a while. COVID happened and I had to get used to reading over Zoom. I did it for clients that I had previously worked with and we had met in person at one time, but now I like doing them like this and over Zoom. Um, and I swore I would never get on TikTok or YouTube or anything like that. And guess what happened yesterday? Well, TikTok and YouTube. So trying to build the following up. If you like it, follow us. You're welcome to support our store, mysticmanconjure.com. In the bio, there is a link to our sites. You're welcome to go in and shop, browse, tip, whatever you would like. There's Cash App, there's PayPal, um, and Super. If you want a further in-depth reading, I can certainly do that here and now for you. Um, for like another 10 minutes, it would be $15. Um, and you're welcome to Cash App or PayPal, and we can do that. I would encourage anybody. These readings are just sample. Um, I enjoy what I do, so I don't mind doing them on here. But I always feel like there has to be a mutual exchange of energy. Everybody has to, you get what you give, and if I did in-depth readings all day for free, I would be exhausted, more exhausted than I am today. Um, my biological clock has hit after 50, and I am now had that curse of waking up every morning at 3, 4 o'clock, no matter what time I go to bed. And I went to bed late last night, and 4 o'clock on the money. And we have a new puppy, so the puppy likes to go out at about 4 o'clock, and I think that's got a lot to do with it because she's a puppy, and we're trying to do the potty training thing with her, and if she comes out, I'll show her to everybody. She was actually on here with me yesterday for a little while. I think people liked her more than me. I know. Hey, Shama, how are you? And is it Yarello? Oh, here she is. Let you guys see Penny. Oh, this is Miss Penny. She's very upset her father just brought her in here and ditched her. But this is Penny. Penny Pingleton. Penne Pasta. Whatever you want to call her. She's a very sweet dog. She picked us, and she loves it here with us. She's a French bulldog, and she was actually running from and wiggle worm, and we went to adopt another dog. But anyway, Penny was not leaving there without us. She saw the gay boys and was like, God damn, I'm going home with them. And as soon as we pulled in, we got out of the car, and this little dog attacked my partner and just was trying to make her presence known. And the dog we actually went to look at had zero interest in us, but Penny had a lot of interest in us. And the owner was actually keeping her to breed. And she even said, I had no intentions of selling her, but I can't. I've never seen her act like this with anybody. She's obviously needs to go home with you. Long story short, Penny came home with us. So this is Penny. Now Penny wants to go with her father. She's a little codependent with her dad. We have another French bulldog, Lucy. Lucy is very codependent. She was an only puppy, so she is very hero. She's very codependent on my partner. Has to be touching him all the time. It's needy. So this puppy and the French bulldog are buddies. So she sees what her sister's doing, and she's like, "Oh, I could be codependent too." And really, she's not. Our other French bulldog is a lunatic. Just saying. We honestly never thought we would have a second French bulldog. We just didn't. If anybody's got a question, I'm on multiple platforms here. Feel free to drop a question in the chat box below, and I'll certainly pull a card, help you answer your questions that you may have. I'd like to do that for you if you want a more in-depth reading. There is a link in our bio page for Linktree. It will take you to our Etsy store, or if you want to do a reading on here. Usually charge about $1.50 a minute. So if you want, we can answer a bunch of questions on here, do a more in-depth reading, and you can go into PayPal or Cash App and do that donation. We just feel like there has to be an equal exchange. Don't mind answering a question, pulling a card, and I can do that for anybody right now if you'd like. And if anybody has a question. Hello, Jasmine. Tally ho. How are you today? What brings everybody here? Other than you've got something on your mind or need to talk or you have a spiritual question. Stacy, I will try to okay. Tell me about Stacy's situation. Okay. Um, you pulled during the situation, Trey, Stacy, the High Priestess, which really means change. You're going through a period of change, and it's good change. But you'll find there's some turbulence. You in this during this change, you're going to make some very sound judgments. Listen to that gut as you make these decisions. That's very important. Make sure you listen to that. Just use your common sense in the next few months, especially over the next 60 days. Use a lot of common sense in what you do, and really try to use your own intuition. That's the big message they're getting here for you. Well, guys, it is about 1 o'clock. I've been on here about an hour. Um, I've got some other things I have to do. I'll probably come on a little bit tonight. Um, I enjoyed last night. I had a lot of fun. I hung out on here for 2 hours. Met some very nice people. Talked to a lot of people. Did some readings. Did some talking. We talked about paranormal. We talked about the occult, metaphysics. We talked about a lot of things last night, and did some readings. Um, Spirit gave some good messages to people. Um, it was a good time. We all had we had, it was a lot of very enjoyable last night, and I swore I was never going to get on TikTok, and I did, because I have a good friend of ours, who's a female impersonator that is on TikTok. And, in my discussions with her, she's like, no, it's not really like work. She's like, you get to meet people and you talk to people from all over the world and you can have fun. She's like, it's like hanging out and not even having to leave the house. So I kind of thought it was very interesting. And um, in 30 years of reading, I never thought I would be on a platform like YouTube or TikTok, but um, it's kind of fun. I had a great time last night. Um, maybe next Friday we'll do happy hour in the evening. We can all sit together, have a cocktail, and pull some cards. Maybe we'll do it one night this week. Maybe we'll do it Wednesday or Thirsty Thursday. We'll kind of see. So we can play it by ear and see what kind of night's good for people. But please do follow and like our channel. We are trying to build that. We appreciate it. Thank you again, super duper. Very much appreciated. Um, we're just trying to build that channel, and I want to build friends, meet clients, and try to help people guide them in their path forward. So I'm going to wish everybody well. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you for a little bit this evening. Have a good night. Good afternoon, I should say. I'm trying to figure out how to close this out. Yeah, you guys were seeing me, and I said goodbye. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm not the best with TikTok, so I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this chat.